Before we start, I want to say something from the heart. Family problems are never easy, and when those problems happen in front of the whole world, the pain becomes even heavier. So while we talk about this story, let's remember one thing. Behind every headline, behind every viral clip, and behind every angry comment, there are real people, real emotions, and real wounds. And if you enjoy deep stories like this, support the channel Stars Without Filters by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more honest, powerful, and human stories without fake filters. Now let's get into it. Sometimes, one public moment can open a door that a family has been trying to keep closed for years. That is exactly what happened with King Harris and T.I. What started as a heated moment at an Atlanta Falcons game quickly turned into something much bigger. At first, people thought it was just another viral celebrity argument, a father and son clashing in public, a young man trying to prove himself, a famous father trying to control the situation. But then the internet did what the internet always does. It watched the clip again, then slower, then with captions, then with theories. And suddenly, this was not just about an argument anymore. It became a story about pride, pain, identity, public image, and family secrets that people believe may have been hidden under the surface for a long time. King Harris has always had a bold personality. He is loud, confident, emotional, and quick to defend himself. Some people see that as confidence. Others see it as arrogance. But whatever side you are on, one thing is clear. King does not like being treated like a child. And that feeling exploded during the Falcons game incident. In the middle of the stadium, with phones out and Instagram Live rolling, King got into a tense exchange. His energy was high. His words were sharp. He wanted everyone to know that he was not scared and that he stood on his own. But from T.I.'s side, it looked different. To him, King was not just standing up for himself. He was embarrassing himself. He was making the family look bad. He was acting tough in a place where one wrong move could turn a small argument into a serious problem. So T.I. stepped in. And that is where the situation became unforgettable. T.I. physically restrained King, and the moment spread across social media almost instantly. People were shocked. Some laughed. Some criticized. Some felt bad for King. Others said T.I. did what any father would do if his son was getting out of control. But for King, that moment seemed to hit deeper than people realized. Because when a young man is already fighting to be respected, being corrected in public can feel like humiliation. And humiliation does not disappear when the camera stops recording. It follows you. It burns in your chest. It makes you want to explain yourself. And that is exactly what King did. Not long after the incident, he went online and made it clear that he was not backing down. His message was simple. He saw himself as a grown man, not a little boy who needed to be handled in front of everyone. That statement told us a lot. This was not only about one argument. This was about King wanting independence. It was about him wanting respect. It was about him trying to separate his identity from being T.I.'s son. And that is where the story becomes much deeper. Because when you grow up with a famous parent, people often think your life is perfect. They imagine big houses, expensive clothes, cameras, vacations, money, and comfort. But money does not always mean peace. A big house does not always feel like home. A famous father does not always mean a close father. And that is one of the biggest questions people started asking after this drama. Was King really living the life people thought he was living? For years, fans saw the Harris family on television. They looked united. They looked successful. They looked like a strong family brand. People watched them laugh, talk, argue, and support each other. But King has suggested that what people saw on camera may not have been the full truth. According to the story being discussed online, King spent a lot of time with his grandmother, not always inside the polished celebrity home that viewers imagined. That one detail changed the way many people looked at everything. Because suddenly, people started asking, was King really spoiled? Or was he emotionally disconnected? Was he acting out because he wanted attention? Or because he felt unseen? Was he trying to build a tough image for music? Or was he trying to explain a life that people misunderstood? And this is why the internet became divided. One side says King has had many chances and privileges. They point to his behavior in public, his controversial moments, and his attitude. They say he acts entitled and refuses to take responsibility. The other side says something deeper may be going on. They believe King's anger may be coming from pain. They think his tough attitude might be armor, something he wears to hide hurt, confusion, and insecurity. And honestly, both things can exist at the same time. A person can come from privilege and still feel pain. A person can have money around them and still feel emotionally alone. A person can make mistakes and still have a story worth understanding. That does not excuse bad behavior, but it does explain why the story is not as simple as people want it to be. Then came the rumor that made everything even more explosive. Online, people began claiming that T.I might not be King's biological father. Now let's be very clear, this is a rumor. It has not been confirmed. Social media can take one theory and turn it into a fact within minutes, so we are not saying this is true. But what matters is how strongly the rumor affected the public conversation. Once people heard it, they started looking at every old clip differently. A hug became suspicious. A disagreement became suspicious. A public correction became suspicious. Even normal father-son tension suddenly looked like something bigger to people who already believed there were hidden issues inside the family. That is the dangerous power of the internet. Once people believe there is a secret, they start searching for clues everywhere. And when they cannot find answers, they create their own. Soon, photos of another man began spreading online. Some people claimed he looked like King. Others said the resemblance meant nothing, but the rumor had already caught fire. And when a rumor catches fire online, truth often becomes the last thing people care about. People want drama. They want mystery. They want a shocking twist. And this story had all three. A famous family. A public fight. A son challenging his father. A father trying to control the situation. And then a rumor that could change the way people understood their entire relationship. That is why this situation became so big. But underneath all the gossip, there is a more human question. What does King actually need? Because when you look past the headlines, King seems like someone fighting to be seen. He wants people to respect him. He wants people to believe he is not just a rich kid pretending to be tough. He wants his story to be taken seriously. But the problem is, his actions often make that harder. Over time, King has been connected to several public controversies. Some people criticized how he allegedly spoke to Waffle House employees. Others were upset over a situation involving a homeless man and a hot chip challenge, where many viewers felt the moment looked uncomfortable and disrespectful. Those incidents damaged his public image. Because when people see repeated behavior that looks careless or rude, they stop listening to explanations. They do not ask, what pain is behind this? They ask, why does he keep acting like this? And that is the danger King is facing. His message may be deeper than people think, but his behavior keeps getting in the way. If he wants people to understand his pain, he has to show growth. If he wants respect, he has to move with maturity. If he wants to be taken seriously as an artist, the music has to become louder than the drama. Because right now, Every time people mention King Harris, they are not only talking about his music, they are talking about his attitude. They are talking about the Falcons' game. They are talking about T.I. They are talking about rumors. They are talking about whether his image is real or created. And for a young artist, that is a heavy burden. Before people even hear the song, they already have an opinion. That can destroy a career before it fully begins. But it can also become fuel. Because pain, when handled correctly, can become powerful art. If King takes everything he has lived through, the confusion, the public embarrassment, the pressure of fame, the questions about his upbringing, the need for respect, and turns it into honest music, he could surprise people. Real stories connect. Fake toughness gets old. But honesty lasts. The audience can feel when someone is speaking from the heart. And maybe that is the real opportunity here. King does not need to prove he is the hardest person in the room. He needs to prove he is real. He needs to show that he can learn, grow, and turn pain into purpose. Because right now, he is standing at a crossroads. One road leads to maturity, discipline, better choices, stronger music, a real identity outside of his father's shadow. The other road leads to more chaos, more viral clips, more criticism, more people seeing him as just another celebrity child who could not handle the spotlight. And the sad part is, the public will watch either way. They will watch him grow, or they will watch him fall. That is what makes this moment so serious. This is not just entertainment. This is a young man's life playing out in front of millions. And T.I. also has a role in this. Because no matter what the rumors say, fatherhood is not only about DNA. It is about showing up. It is about guidance. It is about being present when nobody is filming. It is about correcting with love, not just control. A child does not only need a parent in public. They need one in private. They need someone who listens when the cameras are off. Someone who supports them when the world is laughing. Someone who teaches them without turning every mistake into a performance. If King feels like he was only valued when the family image needed him, that kind of wound does not heal easily. And if T.I. truly wants to repair that bond, it cannot be done through public statements alone. It has to happen in real life, away from the internet, away from the cameras, away from the comments, because some conversations are too important for social media. Some wounds are too deep for Instagram Live. And some family problems cannot be fixed while the whole world is clapping, laughing, and judging. At the center of this whole story is a simple truth. King Harris still has time. His story is not finished. The mistakes do not have to define him. The rumors do not have to control him. The public embarrassment does not have to become his whole identity. But what happens next depends on his choices. Will he keep reacting? Or will he start building? Will he keep fighting for attention? Or will he earn respect through growth? Will he let the internet write his story? Or will he finally take the pen back? That is the question. And that is why people cannot stop watching. Because this story is not only about King Harris and T.I. It is about what happens when family pain becomes public entertainment. It is about what happens when a child grows up under fame, but still feels misunderstood. It is about the difference between image and reality. And it is about a young man trying to figure out who he is, while the whole world keeps telling him who they think he should be. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think King is simply acting out? Or do you think there is deeper pain behind his behavior? Do you think T.I. handled the situation like a father trying to protect his son? Or did public discipline make everything worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. And if you want more real stories without fake filters, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Stars Without Filters, and turn on notifications. Because here, we do not just look at the drama. We look at the story behind the drama.